So you want a luxury SUV, but you don't have a massive pile of money to spend on it.
One solution is to think small.
This little blue wonder is the second generation Audi Q3, a subcompact SUV/crossover thingy that lands below the Q5, Q7, and Q8 in Audi's lineup. With a sub-$36,000 starting price, the Q3 competes with cars like the BMW X1, Lexus UX, Volvo XC40, and Cadillac XT4.
Question number one, is the cheapest of Audi crossovers a true Audi?
Based on aesthetics, yes! If you're in any way aware of Audi's penchant for creased sheet metal, LED lights, and octagonal grills, you'll quickly recognize this as a member of the family.
For the record, turbo blue is the correct color for your Q3.
Impressively, the interior also looks 100% like an Audi. Yes, there is less overall space than Audi's other SUVs, but that doesn't mean the Q3 is cramped.
For the 8 billionth time, I'm 5'10" with a long torso, and I fit in the back seats just fine. And for ample space apportionment between cargo and humans, they both slide and recline. Yep.
What else is worth noting in the Q3's cabin? Well, whether you have a dog or a Dean in your back seat, your furry friend will appreciate rear vents and windows that motor all the way down. In front, we find standard USB-A and USB-C ports, an optional wireless charging pad in a smartly located phone zone, and at certain angles, blinding reflections from the steering wheel. Fun! Another potential annoyance comes from the interior door handles. I personally dislike pulling at this weird angle. You might feel differently. One last oddity is a volume knob that looks like it's in timeout, nudged away from the driver in its own little quiet corner of the instrument panel. Quirks aside, the HVAC and vehicle controls are well separated and easy to comprehend, material quality is pleasing, and the general interior vibe looks properly elite.
Let's pause just for a second to talk about the armrest situation. Inboard, you have a highly adjustable armrest that slides like some of your favorite Volkswagens, and an outboard, a soft armrest, but with my hands on the steering wheel in a comfortable 8 and 4, my elbow doesn't touch it. I'm going to give this a deeply ambiguous squirrel on the Mike Muzio Armrest Comfort Index.
Moving to cargo, there's plentiful door storage, handy bins next to the rear seats, and 23.7 cubic feet hiding behind the standard power tailgate. That's a reasonable capacity, but to haul larger loads, you'll have to take a walk and pull this strap. Remote seat releases in the cargo area would have been nice, but I do like these clever tabs that hold the cargo floor up for easily accessing the lower area. From an infotainment perspective, the Audi Q3 is a power player. Standard 8.8-inch or optional 10.1-inch touchscreens are angled slightly towards the driver for improved visibility and include Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I would prefer larger CarPlay icons, but overall, I really like the system.
Making the interface simpler to use is a completely logical menu structure. Unlike some systems I've used recently, cough, BMW, I can use this whole situation with zero indoctrination. And it rhymes, so you know it's true.
I'll also add that Audi's embedded navigation system looks sweet with its satellite imagery overlay. For maximum effect, spring for Audi's optional virtual cockpit, which displays those sweet nav visuals in the gauge cluster as well. Ah, japers, that's neat. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the Q3 drive experience. As you'd expect, its small size is a boon for parkability. Add the optional 360-degree camera system, and you'll be an unstoppable parking force of nature. Even without advanced camera tech, outward visibility is mostly unimpeded. Thanks, rear quarter windows! In motion, ride quality is appropriately supple, and interior noise remains hushed on the freeway. In fact, if you primarily use sound cues to guide your speed, don't be surprised when you see those flashing lights in your rearview mirror. Find a road that curves, and the Q3 corners confidently.
The wheel turns with precision, but I wish it required a little more heft.
And this is why we have multiple drive modes. Audi kindly offers an individual setting as well, so someone like me who prefers the somewhat heavier steering of dynamic mode can match it with the smoother throttle behavior of comfort mode. Speaking of, there's some debate within the KBB offices about how the Q3 propels itself. Some of us think the standard 8-speed automatic transmission lacks refinement, while others think it works just fine.
In my experience, I have noticed a little bit of abruptness tipping into the throttle at low speeds, the occasional abrupt shift, and a little bit of reluctance to downshift when you want to overtake other cars on the freeway. All that said, I am not deeply offended by the function of the 8-speed automatic transmission. I'm offended by the phrase spooktacular. It just comes up every year. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm just not a fan. That's offensive.
Given all the other wins for the Q3, a smart move would be to drive one for yourself and come to your own conclusion. Refinement questions aside, the 2-liter turbocharged engine powering all Q3s generates ample thrust for confidently overtaking or joining freeway traffic.
That said, mash the throttle from a stop, and there's a pretty noticeable delay while the turbo comes to life. Sure, I'm glad a comically explosive truck wasn't coming through that intersection. Kaboom!
Interestingly, this generation Q3 is less efficient than the previous. Compared to other subcompact luxury SUVs, those numbers are not good. In basic form, the Audi Q3 includes 4 USB ports, dual-zone automatic climate control, heated leather 8-way power front seats, forward collision warning, a panoramic sunroof, and all-wheel drive. Yes, all-wheel drive is standard. That is a lot of gear for well under $36,000, including destination charges. But if you want to live like us Kelley Blue Book car testers, #BlueBookLife, you can tack on options like adaptive cruise control that maintains a nice gap in slow traffic, power lumbar for the front passenger, sport seats with thigh extensions, paddle shifters that probably should be standard, and a 680-watt 15-speaker Bang & Olufsen audio system. One option not offered is cooled seats. As a dude who runs hot, that just pleases me. I'll also mention that all prestige trims, like our tester, include the S-Line package, which sportifies the exterior while adding 0 performance improvements. On the lower Premium and Premium Plus trims, that S-Line package costs $1,300. And for perspective, here's what a non-S-Line Q3 looks like. As mentioned up front, the Q3 vies for your subcompact luxury dollars with other crossovers, whatever that word means anymore, including the BMW X1, Lexus UX, Volvo XC40, Cadillac XT4, and Mercedes-Benz GLA. Depending on your needs, any one of them could be the right match for your active, affluent, young professional lifestyle.
Bottom line, if you want a luxurious yet small SUV, you have a lot of choices. But given its style, space, features, and price, the Q3 is one of the most compelling, especially in turbo blue. Dang, got a pretty fresh sound out of this thing. Yeah, Blue Man Group.